While there aren't any confirmed true stories of ice cream trucks being harbingers of horror, folklore thrives on that exact fear. I can craft a spooky tale for you, inspired by those urban legends. The rusted Chevy with peeling decals that vaguely resembled cartoon ice cream cones lurched to a stop in front of Billy's house. The usual chipper music was absent, replaced by a discordant tune that scraped against Billy's ears. He wasn't supposed to have ice cream after dinner, but the heat shimmered off the asphalt, and the lure of a frozen treat was undeniable. Billy pushed open the screen door, the whine of the rusty hinges echoing in the twilight. A hunched figure emerged from the shadows of the truck. He wasn't the jolly man from the Mr. Frosty truck that frequented their neighborhood. This vendor was gaunt, his skin stretched tight over his skull, and his smile revealed more gaps than teeth. "You looking for something sweet, Sonny?" His voice rasped like sandpaper on wood. Billy hesitated, the melody twisting into a frantic jig. A shiver ran down his spine, despite the heat. Every instinct screamed at him to retreat, but a primal urge for something cold and sugary held him rooted to the spot. "What flavors do you have?" Billy's voice barely escaped his parched throat. The vendor chuckled, a dry, hollow sound. "Only one special tonight, Sonny. Just for you." He reached into the depths of the truck, and Billy's heart hammered against his ribs. The vendor emerged holding a tub unlike any Billy had ever seen. It was a sickly shade of green, flecked with what looked suspiciously like teeth. Disgust warred with a morbid curiosity. "What is it?" Billy croaked. "Surprise," the vendor cackled, his eyes gleaming with a malevolent hunger. Before Billy could take another step back, the vendor lunged. Billy tripped over the uneven pavement, the green tub clattering to the ground. The lid popped open, revealing a swirling mass that pulsed with an unnatural light. A stench unlike anything Billy had ever encountered assaulted him, a mix of rotten flesh and cloying sweetness. A shriek tore from Billy's throat. He scrambled to his feet and bolted towards the house, the warped music of the ice cream truck blaring behind him. He slammed the door shut, throwing his weight against it as the guttural scraping of metal on wood echoed from outside. He locked every deadbolt he could find, gasping for breath. Silence. Then, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night, unlike anything human. Billy slumped to the floor, tears stinging his eyes. The putrid smell seeped in under the door, a constant reminder of the horror that lurked just outside. The police never found the ice cream truck. Billy's story was dismissed as a childish nightmare, but on sweltering summer nights, when the air hangs heavy and a faint, discordant tune drifts on the breeze, Billy can still smell the cloying sweetness of death, a chilling reminder of the night the ice cream truck brought terror. The sleepy town of Hollow Creek had a darkness lurking beneath its idyllic facade. Whispers of missing children had circulated for years, always traced back to the arrival of a rusty, off-white ice cream truck with a haunting melody. 12-year-old Sarah, known for her adventurous spirit, dismissed them as mere stories. Until the summer she turned 13, the oppressive heat shimmered off the asphalt, turning the air thick and heavy. Sarah, restless after a day cooped up inside, snuck out for a walk. The familiar creak of her screen door was swallowed by the night, and she wandered towards the park. Suddenly, a discordant jingle pierced the quiet, like fingernails scraping a chalkboard. A shiver danced down Sarah's spine. There, at the end of the street, bathed in the eerie glow of a flickering streetlight, stood the infamous ice cream truck. This wasn't the brightly painted, cheerful truck from her childhood. It was a skeletal white, its paint peeling like sunburnt skin. The once cheerful melody was a twisted, off-key version of Pop Goes the Weasel. Despite the unsettling atmosphere, a primal craving for something cold and sweet tugged at Sarah. Hesitantly, she approached. A gaunt figure emerged from the shadows of the truck. He wasn't the jolly ice cream man Sarah expected. This man was shrouded in darkness, his face obscured by the brim of a wide-brimmed hat. "Lost, are we?" His voice was a gravelly whisper that sent shivers down her spine. Sarah, ever the skeptic, took a bold stance. "Actually, I'm looking for ice cream. What flavors do you have?" The figure chuckled, a dry, humorless sound. "Just one special tonight, Missy. Just for you." He reached into the depths of the truck, and Sarah's heart hammered against her ribs. He emerged holding a rusty freezer chest, the padlock hanging loosely from its hasp. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at Sarah's non-vitae. That doesn't look very appetizing," she stammered, backing away. The figure tilted his head, revealing a flash of unsettling yellowed teeth. "Maybe not," he rasped, taking a menacing step forward. Sarah's fight or flight kicked in. She bolted, her sneakers slapping against the pavement. The jingle behind her morphed into a maddening cacophony. She could hear the figure lumbering after her, his ragged breaths echoing in the night. She sprinted towards the familiar glow of her house, adrenaline pumping through her veins. Reaching the porch, she fumbled with the doorknob, her shouts for help choked by fear. Just as she slammed the door shut, a meaty hand slammed against it, rattling the frame. She piled furniture against the door, tears streaming down her face. The scraping sound from outside sent chills down her spine. Thankfully, the flimsy barricade held. The scraping eventually faded, replaced by the haunting melody drifting away into the distance. The police arrived, alerted by a frantic neighbor, but found nothing but the rusty outline of tire tracks on the dusty road. Sarah's story, initially met with skepticism, was overshadowed by the discovery of another missing child the next day. Years passed, the case remained unsolved, and the chilling melody of the ice cream truck became a grim legend in Hollow Creek. A legend that served as a constant reminder for Sarah. Some childhood stories are best left untold, and some ice cream trucks are best left unapproached. Admittedly, true ice cream truck horror stories are elusive. However, we can craft a chilling tale inspired by urban legends and real-life cryptid sightings. The sleepy town of Harmonyville had a dark secret hidden beneath its name. For generations, whispers of the coal miner truck haunted the summer nights. It wasn't your average rusty relic. This truck was sleek, black as polished obsidian, and devoid of windows. Its only sound was a low, rhythmic rumble, like a distant earthquake. Legend said it appeared after dark, drawn by the laughter of children. 17-year-old Emily, a skeptic with a taste for adventure, scarfed at the tales. One sweltering July night, boredom gnawed at her. Her friends were away, and the oppressive heat kept her from sleeping. A restless impulse led her outside. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of honeysuckle and something faintly metallic. Then she heard it, the low rumble growing louder with each passing second. Panic surged through her as she saw it in the distance, a black monolith against the star-dusted night. The coal miner, frozen by a morbid curiosity, Emily watched as the truck rolled to a stop at the end of her street. The engine sputtered and died, plunging the immediate area into a thick silence. A single, flickering spotlight bathed the front of the truck in an eerie glow. Then, a door on the side hissed open, revealing a figure clad entirely in black. He was tall and gaunt, his face obscured by a wide-brimmed hat. He held a metal canister that hissed with an unnatural coldness. Fear turned Emily's legs to jelly, but a primal fascination kept her rooted to the spot. The figure tilted his head, seemingly sensing her presence. He spoke in a voice that rasped like sandpaper. "Lost, child." Emily found her voice, a mere croak. "WH, what do you want?" The figure chuckled, a dry, hollow sound that echoed in the stillness. "Just a taste," he rasped, gesturing to the canister with a gloved hand. "A taste of summer's joy." Suddenly, a wave of nausea washed over Emily. The metallic scent intensified, and she could swear she saw wisps of something cold and ethereal swirling within the canister. Terror propelled her forward. She sprinted towards her house, the low rumble of the truck rising behind her like a hungry beast. She reached the porch, fumbled with the doorknob, and burst inside. Slamming the door shut, she threw all the weight she could muster against it. The rumble outside grew louder, accompanied by rhythmic banging that shook the very foundation of the house. Emily collapsed onto the floor, gasping for breath. She peeked through the curtains to see a terrifying sight. The coal miner truck was pulsating with a faint, cold light. Tendrils of mist, tinged with an unnatural blue, were swirling around it. Then, just as abruptly as it appeared, the light and mist vanished. The truck was gone, leaving only the echoing silence of the night. The police found no trace of the truck, and Emily's story was dismissed as a heat-stroke hallucination. But Emily knew better. The metallic smell lingered in our house for days, a chilling reminder of the night she encountered the coal miner. The legend morphed, whisperers now describing the truck as a portal to another world, a place where laughter turned to screams, and summer nights became a chilling reminder of something lurking just beyond the veil. The coal miner became a terrifying truth for Emily, a truth that forever stained the once idyllic summer nights of Harmonyville.